So one of the things I've had a lot of fun doing lately is building a retro deck. This is a bunch of different computers that cover essentially the entire period of PC gaming. And I realized that these computers can play every single Civ game natively, no emulation, best audio, and all. These are a 486 DX250, which we'll use for Civ 1 and colonization, a Pentium 2 300, which we're going to use for Civ 2 and Alpha Centauri. And this last one we can use for everything from Civ 3 all the way to Civ 7. It's a i5 4690, but it has dual booting Windows XP and Windows 11. These are all on a KVM switch, and I even have a Roland MT-100 for exactly the right audio with Civilization 1. So I got in my head with the release of Civilization 7 that I have this system for running really pretty much any game up to the early Windows 11 period, all the XP stuff, all the way back to DOS on a CRT. And so I said, let's do all the Civilization games. And of course, you got to start at the beginning. Civilization 1. This is a big box of Civilization 1. 640K requires, supports EGA, VGA, MCGA, and Tandy. IBM, PS2, I guess. Oh yeah. Roland Adlib Sound Blaster and Tandy, but is written for Roland MT-32, and because I have an MT-32, I'm going to include playback of an actual MT-32 audio and a live capture. The box, the year's biggest Software Publisher Association winner. You can see that logo there. This says 5 1/4, but it actually has this 3.5 discs in it. High density, 4 discs. And beautiful manual. Little some boot disc instructions here. The manual is an absolute classic. Build an Empire's Damn Test of Time. This one is not in the best shape, but it works. Now, critically, the manual is also the copy protection. You can see, like on, not that page, but like on this page, it says Chivalry on page 19. It will ask you for which one is on that page as copy protection but down the road. But wonderful manual, really of the old school. Clocks in at a nice 128 pages and has a tech tree built in. Have a little pamphlet below that, the technical supplement, a different technical supplement. This is 3.1. Oh, this is for when, so there are actually multiple editions in this box, because below that, we do in fact have discs 1 and 2. I think there's more. I could be wrong. Of Civilization on old school 5 1/4 discs. Below that, an ad for F-117A, a Strike Stealth Fighter 2.0, advertising as well as Civilization, Gunship 2000, Hyperspeed, Darklands, scenario discs for all of this, Railroad Tycoon, which came first, old school order form, and Hot Titles from Paragon Software, Microplay. There's an ad here for Avalon Hill, Civilization, the board game. Now, I believe later on there was a lawsuit involving Avalon Hill and Sid Meier's Civilization. But that's not how it always was. As you can see, this ad was included in the box for Sid Meier's Civilization 1. A backup order form, that's probably why I have the other discs in here. Although it would have been sent in, I'm not sure. So if you would have one kind of disc, you would order the others. You'd send it in with your proof of purchase, which is why if you buy some of these old boxes, proof of purchase is missing because someone was sent in for the other discs. And even more IBM features, even more paperwork. You know, one thing I read is from someone saying that the cool thing about these big boxes is that they're really like super deluxe editions in and of themselves. And it's really kind of right here. I mean, just look at everything that's included in this. So much history and more. So let's go ahead and let me repack in all the discs and all the supplements and more. And put that glorious manual back in there. Let me show you a little bit of gameplay. Before I do that, I should probably show you the back of the box, which is some of the fun. You can really see, you know, before people knew what it was, this was Civilization. Some of those box shots. And I also want to show you something else which came out a little later, which is CivNet. This was a release of the original Civilization with networking features and 4 windows. By this point, it was sort of, Civ 2 was not that far off. I think Civ 2 came out the following year. But CivNet was coming out, it supported networks, it supports Windows 3.1 and Windows 95, 98 still in the future, obviously. Never really caught on. Civ 1 just wasn't designed for multiplayer, but it's a cool thing to have. So in addition to using the Dell Precision T1700 as a machine for playing Civ 3 through 7 and dual boot, I'm also going to use it for audio capture on the early games, which really is a versatile computer in that way. So, booting into DOS. This is a memory I'm sure that some of you have, some of you may have forgotten, or never had. But this is it, and I'm doing my best to keep the shutter speed controlled here. It's not going to be perfect. The camera's locked to 60, but there's going to be some strobing. In later versions, it should be perfect because it's locked to 60 FPS. Not so much here. You can see the Orpheus 2LT sound card we have is going to be powering the audio on these. So let's start Civilization. Civilization originally came on floppies, but you can play it off a hard drive. Now, real old-timers will immediately know why that didn't work, because it is CD MPS, then CD Civ, and then just Civ. We're going to play this in VGA mode with Roland sound and a mouse and keyboard. So, playing a little bit with shutter speed there to try to fix it. Not sure if it helped or hindered. Hopefully it helped. Let's start a new game. Alright, and this brings us to the difficulty screen. I'm sorry for the strobing. I'm not sure exactly the refresh rate on this game. But yeah. So I'm playing Chieftain. I know that's lame, but this is really just a demonstration of a game. I always play as the Greeks. We'll say Alexander. Like a lot of Roland MT-32 games, there's actually no audio a lot of the time in this game, which is kind of interesting. I also always thought that the settler guy looked like a weird mouse, but it's actually a carriage. I only realized later. So let's build here. It's early Athens. The building styles change all through this. So because we can already have bronze working, that's right, we can build a phalanx. Let's actually not do that yet. Let's start with a militia just to explore. And there's a lot of hitting enter in the early game. I recall, alphabet's really important if you want to build boats early. Not a lot going on in the early game. All right. Our military unit. Oh. That famously is Sid Meier as a science advisor. Right. It allows for map making, which I think we're going to go for. Units can't embark in early civs, so if you want anything to happen in the beginning of the game, you need a boat. Now, we're going to switch to a phalanx here to get a defending unit. In early civ as well, cities, if they're undefended, can just be invaded and taken. You'll notice that the currency just transfers over. There is no difference yet. That was a little risky. I could have unleashed a horde of barbarians and lost my city. You see, it's automatically ending turns. And, of course, this is still the era of stacking, so you want to defend your cities. We're going to fortify the phalanx, and we're going to build another one to explore some more. Also, fun fact, well, no, not this. Ceremonial burial. Alright, we're going to save it here. I guess I've been playing in the past. And we're going to exit for now. That's Civ 1.